Hey y'all, I'm David Bancroft. I'm the owner and chef of Acre Restaurant and Bow and Arrow Restaurant in Sweet Home, Alabama. And today we're going to be cooking up a dough that we shot, and we're going to be making a delicious white-tailed chili. We're going to be serving it like chili Frito pie.
Warning, timber to table is strictly wild game. All meat is from the timber or water, served directly to the table. No meat is store-bought, no preservatives, no steroids, no nothing. Zero, zilch, nada, the big old goose egg. Wild and organic as it gets. If you can hunt it or catch it, and you want to cook it, you've come to the right spot. Every animal was harvested legally for the purpose of eating. Enjoy. Bon appetit.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, this is one of the legs, and a lot of people don't like using deer legs because they have a lot of sinew. But one of the things I love to do is I love to utilize all of that trim and scrap into stock. So what we're going to do is, you see how I took my knife here and peeled that silver skin off. I like to pretend I'm at the restaurant here and need to utilize every single piece. So we're going to take all this trim and collect it. We're going to brown it and then make our stock out of it to make our chili. I feel that it's vital, especially in teaching our youth about hunting, and the reason that we hunt is because we like to eat. We should honor this animal more than just what the processor is going to do. It's definitely easy to just grind this in the meat grinder, but a little bit of knife work, just like this, and we're down to good usable leg meat for stew or chili, or venison tips with gravy. So now you see we got a good clean piece of leg meat ready to go. All of this we're going to take up and slice for our chili. Then over here we've got all our discarded meat, and you can see how much we've got. We've got just in this piece here a little over a pound. I see nothing wrong with this for stock. We're going to come in here and add it to some butter and start to brown and stew this. Got that fire cranking, and what I'm trying to do here is brown this. Not just a little bit of brown, but I mean really, really darken the meat, because all that brown that you're getting and all that sear, that's the flavor. If you're gonna harvest a deer, you should go ahead and utilize the opportunity to honor that animal through the hunt, from the chase to the hunt, to the kill, to the dress, to the board, to the pot, timber to table. All right, so while we got our stock working, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get in our actually chili pot that we're gonna use. And I've got some bacon fat. You can use beef fat. And we're gonna take that leg meat. You can hear it sizzling. Make sure you get that cast iron hot so you can brown this stuff. As you can see that steam coming off, you want that steam to leave the pot so it doesn't start steaming the meat and collecting the moisture and the water in there. Brown the meat in shifts. Brown it and then remove it to a bowl, then brown the next batch and put it in a bowl. But don't overcrowd the pot. I'm gonna put just a little dash of salt. I like to layer things throughout, but always save the final seasoning for the end step there. You started getting this really good dark color. And when those bits, this is all the scrap and trim. You see how dark it is? All that is just flavor. You develop that sear, you develop the flavor. If you look in the bottom of this pot, you see all these little sticky bits in here. And as it deglazes, and you add your water, all that's gonna dissolve into the broth and the stock. I'm gonna come in here and reserve this fat for later for our roux. Look at all that fat coming off from all the fat that we trimmed, the butter that we added to this. That's gonna make a delicious roux. And now that you've got all the bits in here, watch all this magic. So now we don't even have to buy the beef stock anymore. All right, so now that we've browned our good venison trim here, we're gonna remove it from our pot. Now we're going to take that fresh venison fat and that butter from earlier and add it to our pot. We've got our flour here. We're going to add the flour in. Always got to have a seasoned roux. Just a little bit. And the flour is going to be the stabilizer for this chili. That's what's going to thicken it. Now that I get this flour all incorporated, I like to use a whisk because you can cover a little bit more surface area. This isn't something that you can just walk away from. You've got to attend to this. A good roux is the base of some of the best gravies on the planet Earth. If you're afraid that you might burn your roux and it's going too fast, just relax. Turn the heat down. You can come off the heat for a minute. Pick your pace back up. This is what's called a peanut butter roux. And we're going to be going just for a light milk chocolate color. So when I was in college, I was a deckhand on a fishing boat out of New Orleans. Some of the Creole guys on the boat were telling me that their grandmothers taught them that the very first step that you should do when you're developing your roux and you get your roux the proper color is throw the onions in first. I know the way my grandmother cooks, but if you're in Cajun or Creole country, you better be doing what their grandmother said. Cook those onions up a little bit. Now we can go ahead and come on in with our peppers. We got our jalapeños coming in next. It's time to heat it up some. So now we got our vegetables in. I'm gonna still hold that garlic out because I don't want it to burn it. We're gonna throw that tomato paste in. I like to toast that tomato paste a little bit. Get rid of some of that canned metallic-y flavor if there's any remaining. Now, I still haven't added my garlic, y'all, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some of my seasonings. This is my chili powder. I'm gonna toast that chili powder. I've got my cumin. Chili powder and cumin, that's the base for just about any good chili. Especially if you grew up in Texas. So then we're going to do some of the final spices. You got your allspice. We got a little bit of dried oregano. We're going to season this little layer one more time with some salt. So now we're going to drop our garlic in, and this is going to give us our edge. Now you're basically cooking 4D here, y'all. You got the aroma just pulling in layers. So if you look down in our pot, you can see everything's been seared, caramelized. We've developed all this good chili flavor. It's not your typical crock pot chili, y'all. This is hunting camp chili. Y'all grab one of those little dark beers. You gotta sacrifice one for the boys, y'all. You can already see this good color we're gonna have before we even add our roasted stock and our meat back in. This is gonna be good chili because every single layer has attention to detail. Every single layer we cared about. We cared about the hunt, we cared about the kill, and we care about the chili. So now that we've got all that in there, you got your dark beer, deglazed everything. We're gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna add a little bit of low sodium soy. Got a little dash of vinegar. I like to go ahead and throw some bay leaves in just for good luck. Mama Jean always had bay leaves in her food. Every other grandma puts bay leaves in their food. We're gonna cut that heat down just a little bit. Slow as roll. We're gonna come in and take our browned venison that we trimmed earlier. And the fat, don't strain it out. It's already a lean animal. Fat tastes good. So now we've got our stock that we made earlier with all our brown trimmings and leftovers. Saved our money on the beef stock. We're going to incorporate some of this. And look at all that delicious seared brown bits coming in. We've got some stewed red beans. You can do pinto beans, you can do black beans, user's choice here. You can go no beans. No frijoles for you, if that's what you want. So now we're gonna cut that heat low and slow. If you see now, it's just barely at a little bubble. And we wanna make sure this chili just sits and relaxes. All that stew meat, leg meat starts to break down, get tender. If you want to, you could even sneak the heart in here, throw the liver in. I mean, the heart is one of the cleanest muscles of the entire animal. I like to make heart tartare and serve it raw. So now that we've got our pot of chili, it's been slow simmering. Everybody went out in the woods, we just put the lid on it. Came back out of the woods, took the lid off. Beautiful. So now we're gonna do it the way that I like to do it, which is Texas style, and that's chili Frito pie. So we're gonna take our fresh Fritos, locally made, United States of America. Come over here to the chili pot. I like to make sure everybody gets a bay leaf. We'll load them up. We'll come over here and we're going to add a little bit of chopped cilantro. And then we're going to take some fresh cheddar. Now this is just a sharp white cheddar, but you can get a yellow cheddar if you like. Pre-grated cheddar, it's a little kind of powdery, but you'll get a higher quality cheese by grating it fresh like this, and you can just see there's no shortage for any reason whatsoever. We're just gonna make it rain. And then just for fun, we're gonna go back, and I grew these jalapeños at the restaurant. We're gonna add just a couple of these little jalapeños just to fire it up some. Oh, baby. Venison Chili Frito Pie. Campfire ready. Time to dig in. The best part is we followed this all the way from the timber to the table.